Hi people, how are you? Let me hope you're blessed in the mighty name of Jesus Christ. Let's wait for a few minutes, then we are going to start. Is cheating a mistake or a choice? We are going to start at exactly 2 minutes. Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Welcome to this live. So today I was there and I thought, is cheating a mistake or is it a choice? And I was thinking about it. You can let us know what you think, those that will rewatch this video after I've posted it. Personally, I believe that cheating is a choice because by the time someone cheats, they have planned, they have thought about it, and they have put in effort to execute that plan. So it is never a mistake. A mistake is something that you do when I think you're not, what is the opposite of subconscious? You're like, you like for a second you were out of your mind and then you made a mistake. You know, you mistakenly dropped the cup, you mistakenly said something wrong, you did a mistake, you know, where you thought you did something that you thought was right, but it was wrong. But cheating is never a mistake. A mistake is when you're talking and maybe something, you have a slip of a tongue. A mistake is when you're walking, maybe you drop a cup and it breaks. A mistake, you know, is where maybe you do something subconsciously or as a reflex action. That is a mistake. Hi Mogera, how are you? Welcome to the live. Today we are discussing, is cheating a mistake or a choice? So that is what I see as a mistake, you know. And once you do a mistake and discover that you've done a mistake, anyone who has common sense, you will not repeat the same thing again, because you know the repercussions of it, you know the losses it caused you, you know the hurt it brought to somebody. Maybe you mistakenly said something to somebody. But cheating is a process. Someone does not wake up and cheat. You know, they wake up, they know you're in a relationship with somebody, you're supposed to be exclusive, you're supposed to be faithful, you make yourself vulnerable, you put yourself out there, yet you're not supposed to be out there. Then you are approached, or you approach. Then once you approach, you start communicating, you know, you start feeding this thing of yours. See, it is a process. You start going on dinner. When you go on dinner, when you text, those phone calls, are those still mistakes? By the time someone reaches to have sexual intercourse with someone else, it is a process and it is a choice. It is something that they have chosen to do because they are understanding in their right mind. No one dragged you, No one gave you alcohol. No one put a pill in your drink. No one put you to sleep. Or no one raped you. You understand? Emmanuel, good evening. How are you? So it is a choice, because you have thought about it, you have executed it, you have put it into action, you have fed it. Someone who does not want to cheat, we are all grown-ups. You see where the conversation is going and you cut it off. We all know if there is a plant in the garden and you don't water it, it will die. You know, and communication is two-way. If you don't want to get into that cheating drama or escapade, you know, you will not communicate to that person back. But by the time you communicate to that person back, you are giving that person consent. And then you find somebody, they tell you, someone has cheated multiple times, but I keep forgiving them. Okay, if it was a mistake the first time, it shouldn't even be called a mistake. You say you did something out of anger, or you did something out of lust, out of, you know, it is not a mistake. If you do it the first time, the second time, the third time, it has become a habit. It has become a habit. And if you don't want, and these things they say, she seduced me. There's no way a woman can seduce you. If you don't want, you can cut off communication. You can block that number. Why does the person even have your number in the first place? You understand? If you don't want some, communication is two-way. Sometimes I see ladies on social media, girl, she took my man, she seduced my man, she did this to my man. My dear, there is no man that can be stolen. They are not property. They are not property like a cup that you can steal or a telephone that you can steal. There is no man who gets stolen when he doesn't want to be stolen. A man who doesn't want to be stolen will not give it time. He will not make room for any other woman. He will not be texting them. The moment they see that this lady is flirting with me, they will block you. And when someone does not talk to someone for some time, that relationship or that pursuit to that relationship will die. So let us stop using that excuse that I was seduced, I was this. Communication is two-way. Even people who are in homes and then somebody, for example, you find somebody in a home, the first maid comes, she complains. The second maid, she complains that this man in the house, or this boy in the house, or this gentleman is disturbing me. But if there are 3, 4 different maids who are complaining about the same person, it means it is that gentleman that has the problem. It is not the maids. It is the constant that has a problem. But most cases, sometimes when we're in homes, you hear, oh, this girl, she wants to be with my man. She wants to be with the shamba boy. She wants to be with my husband. Why did your husband give her room to even talk to her in that manner? Hi, Otieno, how are you? How does she even get the audacity to talk to her male boss like that? Because even maybe he initiated the jokes he does, the way maybe he laughs at them, or maybe he touches them, or makes jokes that give off that kind of vibe. But if you find a gentleman who is very serious, you know, you greet him, good evening, uncle, how are you? Or good evening, daddy, or good evening, sir, whatever the house help calls him. She serves him food, he goes, she goes. They have no conversation. They have nothing to talk about. There is no way that the woman is going to come from nowhere to start sleeping with the man. It is always two-way. Communication is two-way. There is no way, you know, because even that maid, to have that idea in her head, the man must have initiated something. But sometimes we always look on the other side. The maid. What about the man? I tell women, if you notice this in your home, bring a house help that is a man. And as you pray for your man, but don't cover it up that your man, it is the girls who are trying to initiate, it is the girls who are trying to initiate that your man is innocent. No. Spiritually, he has the spirit of lust. So you need to stand in prayer. Get out of denial, stand in prayer with the man, and also physically. Let us also pray as we use common sense. Bring a male house help. You know, you don't have to keep bringing women. It's like you that is bringing what they call it, ghee, and you bring it to the fire, it will melt. But then we live in denial and say, my man this, my man. Yes, if you see your man is the one that gets tempted, you know, bring a male house help as you pray for the man. But if you ignore it, before you know it, it is a disaster, you know. So someone to cheat, it is both ways. They both initiate and agree, both of them. Like, let's say, for example, you are married, you find your husband with another girl or another woman. You know, your problem is with the man that you had a covenant with, not the woman. Because it is that man, I believe it is the man that approaches. It is the man that approached that woman. And he had his reasons, you know. And as a woman, you need to find out what caused this. And you should never ever think that maybe you're not worthy, you're not beautiful, maybe you're not good in bed. That's why the man cheated. There should be clear communication. That's why I tell couples that most times when you have a problem in your relationship, always make sure you communicate. You know, if she's not doing something right, if you are a couple and you stood and said vows on the altar, till death do you part, and you become one. Help yourself and be able, if you can go to the God's altar and make a covenant to be one for life, they should be nothing. You should be scared to communicate with your partner. You know, you should be able to communicate anything with your partner. So if your partner is not doing something right, sit them down and talk about it. And also the partner, it could go both ways, man or woman. You should be able to take constructive criticism. Because by the time a man sits you down, this is for the ladies, and tells you exactly what he's feeling on what you're not doing right, even the woman comes and tells you what you're not doing right, listen. Be open-minded. Listen to understand, not to listen just to pass time. Then after that, make changes. You know? Or maybe she has now so many things to do at home. She's breastfeeding, she's cooking. Maybe she's a little dirty. She has become a little dirty. It is not an excuse for you to go outside and cheat. You know the covenant that you made. You know, cheating is a choice. Someone wakes up, thinks about it, puts the plan into action, executes it, books a hotel room, calls a girl, you know, it happens. I was reading an article. No, I was online, and then people were discussing and saying sometimes men, I don't know if there are men on here that can explain to us, sometimes they don't settle with the women they actually have. I was confused. I'm like, a man can actually marry a woman when they actually don't love them. In my head, I was confused, but then I was like, So there are many people who are in marriages, but the spouse doesn't really love that. Like, that's not their love of their life. Sometimes you find that the person they wish they were with was already taken by someone else. So they end up marrying that person because that is the person that was there, that was available when they wanted to marry. I don't know how right that research is, but I've seen some couples like that. Most especially couples that wedded in 2020. Man, I don't know what happened in the lockdown. Because of maybe the scientific weddings, they were cheaper, few guests and all that, so people rushed to get married. I don't know if people got married for convenience or anyway, everyone has their reason why they got married. But you find someone in a relationship and then they open up to you and they're like, I wish I would have just had kids and not gotten married. You're like, but how can someone make such a statement? You know? So cheating is a choice. Cheating is a choice. You meet a man, he tells you, man, so this woman, She's having sex just to just have sex, just to make sure she feels her obligation, but she's not really there, and men can tell. So you find the man is married to that person. Yeah, she's there, he knows, but he will go outside to get that emotional, physical connection with someone else. So even us in homes, we need to, you need to understand your partner. You need to understand your partner. Men can smell pretense. you know what? There's something that God put in men that I don't understand. A man can meet you, can see you, can lay eyes on you and say, that is the girl I'm going to marry. And even though it takes him 5 years, you may not even date immediately, but in like 5 years, that man will marry you. And then you find a man who finds somebody and is like, that girl, I want to sleep with her. And that man will eventually sleep with her. I don't know what instinct God put in men. Like the moment they meet you, they know. So men don't need, what I understood is that men don't need years to figure out what they want. They will see you, it's like they have that instinct in them. But I think women haven't noticed it. And then another thing is when the relationship is beginning, when a man speaks, that's his truth. A man can meet you and say, my intentions, I want to marry you. That is his intention in his head for you. He may have someone else and he meets her and tells her, I want to sleep with you. And trust me, it will happen. And then when you're having a conversation with a man, those first few dates, you will know exactly what a person wants from you. The person can meet you and tell you, by the way, I've always had a crush on you. Someone having a crush on you, meaning they just want to sleep with you. And then you enter that relationship thinking that the man will change, the man will want to marry you. But he made his communication clear in the beginning. I have a crush on you. In other words, I just want to sleep with you. His fantasy in his head is to sleep with you, not to marry you. He does not see you like marriage material. He's just physically attracted to you. You know? And then many things lead people to cheat. Maybe there is no satisfaction in the relationship the person is with, but then they see that this person has been good, she has good character, she listens to me, we've been through a lot. But when the person is not being sexually satisfied, that person will cheat. If that person does not fear God, that's why I tell people, you need to pray. You need to pray. People in marriages, you need to pray. You need to pray. You have to have a marriage altar where you pray for your marriage. You know? So even that, it can lead him to go or her, because it goes both ways, to go outside and find that sexual attraction that he needs. But you may find that if you talk to your partner and discussed about it, teach them, tell them what you like, you know, they can be able to adjust, they can be able to change. But the problem is we feel shy talking about these things. We feel shy to open up. You know, yet talking about things can help you find a solution, you know, because you didn't grow up with this person. You don't know what they like. You need to understand. You may say, you're loving him right. Why would he cheat? You're doing everything for him that he needs. You're doing everything for her that she needs. How could she cheat on you? You do know you can spend years and years in a relationship, but when you're loving somebody in a way that they don't want to be loved, because you think that's how they want to be loved, and that's what you're doing in the best of your knowledge. But because there is no communication about how the other person wants to be loved, how the other person wants to be touched, how someone wants to be made love to, how someone wants to be respected. We all know that men feed on respect, you know, but how does your man want to be respected? So that you don't leave room for cheating. Some people say, if a man is to cheat, he will cheat. But you can close some gaps. There are gaps you can close. You know? Before you know it, because you didn't communicate. Person, be open. I met someone back in that day. You people always tell you my stories and my testimonies. You know, let me hope you learn from them. I met someone back in the day. I really liked him. He was nice and everything, but he wasn't aligning. This man made a statement and told me, the first time I'm going to sleep with a lady, I don't actually have sex intercourse with her. I need to understand her and understand her body. I need to understand how her body operates. You understand? I need to understand how her body operates, what turns her on and all that stuff. I need to know that on the first day so that I know. This man gave me a clue that he understands that all women are different. So even you in your marriage, that spouse after marriage, you know, I don't advise you to have sex outside marriage, but that partner that you're married to, do you know their body? Understand their body. You may be kissing them, touching them, yeah, but when it's not for them, they are just doing it to please you. And even them, they'll be shy to be talking about it. But that communication has to be there. It's going to save you a lot. You know? Before you know it, that partner will go out to someone who communicates and they'll be like, oh my God, wow. Before you know it, they're having a baby. You know? Because most people, sometimes, I don't advocate for these things, but I know they are happening. That's why I talk about them. Most relationships, somebody starts out, they're using protection, they're using protection. Before, when the relationship gets to 3-6 months of sexual intercourse, they stop using protection. Before you know it, a baby is there. But something you could have avoided by communicating. How do you want to be loved? How do you want to be touched? Because cheating is not a mistake. It is a choice and it is initiated, and a lot goes into cheating. You know, you have to delete messages, you have to hide to make phone calls, you have to do this and that. You know? You have to, a lot goes into that. Hi Gojo, how are you? Namaste. Good evening. So a lot goes into cheating. And you know, sometimes girls or men, they go out, they cheat without protection. That's how you're seated at home. That's how you're seated at home. He cheats with someone who is sick and brings diseases to you. You're innocent, you are home, you've been faithful, boom. Because of not communicating. So something small can turn into something big. You know? For example, you're in a relationship with someone. When you met them, you had this spark, you know, and people keep claiming that in marriage that spark fades away, blah blah blah. You have to make sure you if you want your marriage to last, find a way to keep that spark in the marriage before your partner goes out and looks for that spark somewhere else. Keep that spark there. You know, have constant communication with your partner. Is the spark, what am I not doing right? What do I need to change? Be on the same page. With prayer, you do all these things physically, but with prayer. Where are you from? I'm from Uganda and I'm currently speaking from Uganda. You understand? Communication. You find because that spark is not there anymore, someone goes outside, before you know it, they have brought for you diseases. So you need to be careful. You see how one thing is bringing, you know, becoming bigger, bringing more problems. So to avoid it, communicate. Communicate with your partner. Nice to meet you. Which part of India are you from? Which part of India are you from? You know, and then a couple, you find a couple. Gujarat. Thank you. How's that place? Is it hot right now, or how's the weather now? And then another one, you have a misunderstanding, and then you leave the home. Have the misunderstanding inside the same house. In fact, even inside the same bedroom. Fix it. Hi Alex, how are you? Where are you watching us from? Thank you for joining the live. You know, fix the problem from your bedroom. Don't leave. Because when you leave, you're giving gap for cheating. And by the way, I'm telling you that sometimes cheating is not your problem. It's a reflection of the other person. If you are not doing something right, If you're not doing, no, I don't know your language. I'm only speaking English. I'm only speaking English, dear. You know, it is not because of you. It is the other person's character. It's in them. You know? And then some people, they are cheating. It's spiritual. They don't want to do it, but they find the forces is pushing them to do it. And after doing it, you know, some of them even regret. That's why I tell people, if you're to get into a relationship, or you get into a relationship, be prayerful. Hi, David. How are you? Thank you for joining. Be prayerful, because some people's cheating is spiritual. They love you so much, they don't want to cheat on you, but the spirit of their father's house is saying, go and sleep with other people. That polygamy from their father's house or their mother's house is saying, go and fulfill the covenant we made. Go and fornicate. Every evening they hear something telling them, go and do this, go and do that. Even them, they don't want to, but they find themselves doing it. And immediately after they do it, they regret. Like in the Bible, there was a boy who got attracted to his stepsister, and immediately he finished sleeping with her. He was disgusted with her, and asked her and chased her away. You know, once that spirit leaves this person, the person where it is spiritual, when it leaves the other person, they come. It's like they come back to their senses, and then the person they slept with, they look disgusting to them. That's when they come back to you. But by the time they come back to you, are they still clean? Haven't they brought for you sexually transmitted diseases? So as we are doing this physical part, let us also be prayerful. Because I always tell women, a man is not going to cheat on you because you're so good. A man is not going to stay faithful to you because you're so good, you're so humble, you love him, you treat him well, you're good in bed, you're good in cooking. A man is going to stay faithful to you because he fears God. A woman is going to stay faithful to you because she fears God. You know? Because they fear God and they know the repercussions of having sex outside marriage, they will not cheat on you. But for people to think that, oh, he will not cheat on me, let me do this for him, let me do that. You have to add prayer on top. Because some people's issue is spiritual. Like, even though they have stopped cheating with that girl, they'll still find another one. Are you going to be fighting everybody? It is best you take it to God in prayer. You pray about it as you do what you're supposed to do and leave everything else to God. You know, I knew somebody who the husband, the other one, Bambi, was too much. But the lady prayed and prayed and prayed. But I think now the man has changed a bit. I think the man has now changed. Because at first she used to fight with girls. She abuses them. She calls them. She wants to slap them. She tell them, leave my man, leave my man, leave. Then after some time, I think she also got tired. She's like, you know what? Let me just pray for this man. She started praying. And there has been change. So some people's issues that lead them to cheat, it is spiritual. Some are just hypersexual. They're hypersexual. They want to have sex all the time, all the time, all the time. If it is only with you, one person, I think that is okay. You know, he's attracted you, he wants you. But when you're jumping from one bed to another, remember when you have sexual intercourse with someone, you become one. The covenants in the other person come and join with yours. That's where you find people, they are stuck in soul tie covenants. Soul tie covenants are disturbing people. You find yourself, you're thinking about someone you left long time ago, but every time you're thinking about that person, it's like your spirit, your soul is still tied to that person. And you need to break it spiritually through prayer. You need to denounce the covenants you made with that person. That's where I tell young girls and young men, youth, stay away from sex outside marriage, because a lot is done during sex. There's an exchange of spirits. Some people have failed to reach their God-ordained purpose and destiny because of the urge of sex. And it has destroyed many. ministers of God, pastors. I'm not saying I'm judging. I'm not judging anybody because I'm not righteous. But we need to pray. You need to pray. That is one spirit that has attacked even the mighty men of God and mighty women of God. So I tell people, whenever when you see that behavior in your spouse, pray about it immediately. And sometimes God gives you revelations in a time where you people are so lovey-dovey, you're okay, you're fine, you're like, my baby cannot cheat on me, we are always together, we work together, oh my God, he cannot. Then God comes and gives you a revelation of him cheating, when God wants you to pray so that it doesn't happen. But some people, you ignore it. And when you ignore such a thing, before you know it, it's going to manifest in the physical. You know, sometimes we see that now, we are like, no, we have just left our honeymoon in the Maldives and we are going to Paris and we are just going to pass by this and this country. Oh my God, the way he treats me, he cannot even look at another woman, but God has revealed it to you. You should understand that what is revealed in the spirit is the real truth. It is what the devil is planning, and deal with it. And then one of my first sermons, I also talked about what to do when you find out that your man is cheating. Like, if God reveals to you that your man is cheating, what should you do? Number one, first and foremost, if you're a woman, don't tell him. Because once you utter it out, it's like you're confessing it. You know? And some men, if they're not strong in faith, when you tell it to him, he'll be like, as long as she already saw it, she already knows. He will go ahead and do it. You don't need to even tell him. Because at that time, in that sermon, I think, that was one of my first sermons when I had just started this channel. Because once God reveals to you, thank you, Alex. God bless you. When God reveals to you that your husband is cheating, it could be when it happened in the past and you don't know if he changed, or when it's going to happen in a month and he wants you to stop it, or it is going to happen tomorrow. So when God gives you such revelations, don't wake up and utter, God showed me you are cheating on me with Martha. You know, you're already putting it in the atmosphere. If the man did not even have it in his head and the devil had planned it in 1 month, he's going to look at Martha and start noticing her because you told her or you told him. I've seen this happen in real life. I've seen this happen to somebody in real life. The person was supposed to keep quiet and pray to make sure it doesn't happen. But the person kept nagging the man. So the man also, him out of frustration and anger, is like, this one is even making me think about something I wasn't even doing. So this person started to see the other person differently. He will start to notice her. Remember, they are in the same environment. Maybe they serve together in church. Maybe they work in the same workplace. He will start noticing, oh, Martha actually has nice skin. She actually has nice legs. She's actually, nice looking. Before you know it, he will approach her. If you find that Martha is not God-fearing, she will also be, interested. Because the devil already ordained it in the realm of the spirit. That's what you saw. What are you supposed to do? Baptize your mouth, keep quiet, and let your battles be on your knees. You don't know the power of prayer. You can pray. They even reach maybe, the stage of where they are going to do it. But they will be convicted. They'll be like, but what we are doing is wrong. The prayers you prayed, never despise them. Or God can even sometimes cause conflict. And they disconnect. Or God sends that person away. And they separate and they never communicate again. But they show you don't want to pray. Then you say, someone cheated on me. Cheating is a choice. It is not a mistake. A mistake is when you're walking and you drop a cup and it breaks. That's a mistake. Like a mistake. A mistake is when a reflex action happens. Someone shouts at you and you slap them. And you slap them. That's a reflex action. But cheating can never be a mistake. It's well thought out of. You thought it, you plan it, you execute it. Can there be restoration after cheating? I believe it can happen. If both parties are willing to put in the work, if you're willing to put in the effort, if you're willing to fast and pray together as a couple, if you respect the covenant you made, there can be restoration after that cheating. But sit down on the table and first discuss. Don't just go and pray and start dealing with spirits and then entering warfare. You know, but against we love warfare. Eh? You know, first ask, what is the legal accusation against my partner that has cheated? For the devil to penetrate and execute such a thing, there must be a legal accusation against that person. And it is God to reveal it to you. You go deep into repentance. And when you're going into repentance as a wife, my dear, you don't say, oh Lord, forgive my husband. No, forgive us. Us. We are one. I'm fine. How are you? Go blue. Wow, this name, I've never heard of it. You know, when you go before God, you're going there as one. Oh God, forgive us. We fornicated. You know? Then you get out of the covenant. Then God will reveal to you what is causing, what is the legal accusation against that person that the devil has against that person. Then you can deal with it. But sometimes God gives you a revelation like that. Straight warfare. You're dealing with, you're shooting demons. You're firing them. Fire. What are you firing? The demons will look at you and say, Jesus, we know the Holy Spirit, you know you're ours. Because somewhere, somehow, you get the devil a legal right. Thank you so much. I'm from Uganda and I'm speaking from Uganda. So, our topic today, yes, relationships can be restored and you become even stronger, because when you come out from such a pit, you're not starting from start. You're not starting from ignorance. You're not starting from the other honeymoon phase. No, now you're starting from experience. You're starting afresh. You know what caused you people to stumble. You know how to deal with it. You know where you went wrong. You know, you're now on the journey of helping each other to be fixed. I'm not married. You're now on a journey to see that you both fix your relationship and make it better. So I believe a relationship can even come out stronger after all this conflict and cheating and all that stuff. But you need to understand the root. Physically, what caused it? Spiritually, what caused it? Then you deal with it. Then those things that people tell you that there are no happy marriages. All men cheat. Men are polygamous in nature. Leave people's words. You write your own story. Write your own story. But when you feel you want to write your story on two other people's stories, it is going to be difficult for you. Write your own story. And go in. Some people, do you know some people enter marriage and they have this mentality that, yeah, this man has agreed to marry me, but I know anytime he will cheat on me. You're already entering with negativity. You know? You're already entering with negativity in the relationship, but you change your mindset. It all starts in the mind, and every life is spiritual. You know? Always understand the spiritual, always pray. Pray. And don't pray alone, pray together. Because the Bible says where 2 or 3 are gathered, I'll be in their midst. The prayer you pray with your spouse, with your family, with your children together is better than you praying alone. Yes, you can have your personal altar, your personal time where you pray alone, your personal things, but also have that time where you pray together, and also be consistent. Be consistent. Make sure you're consistent. And you'll have a relationship that's amazing. So to sum all of this up, cheating is not a mistake. Cheating is a choice. Can it be avoided in relationships? Yes. The number one key to avoid cheating in a relationship is having open communication. Communicate with your partner. Communicate, 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 and be ready for constructive criticism, because it will make you a better person, so that your relationship will flourish and be good in the long run. Anyway, that's all I had to share with you today. Love and peace from me to you. Until next time, God bless you.